everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am going to do a honest opinion of my teacher planner situation right now, and I'm going to admit that I am struggling. And it's only been a week of school and I haven't even had students yet. So if you watched my last video, which apparently has been really popular since since I'm a secondary school teacher, and you know, a lot of the planners out there are very much geared towards the primary grades, I decided to get a happy planner. If you saw my last video, I'll link it down below or somewhere in this video. And then I got a happy planner and I bought the hard cover, and it had come with a box kit. It came with this cover, and you know, I did what I thought I was going to do for how I was going to use the boxes. Like, I think in my last video I mentioned that I would use probably one subject here, one subject here, my meetings here, to-do list on just a running to-do list for the week, and then notes for all of the meetings that I have to go to because I am a department head. I filled in all my stickers. I even made some stickers to cover up holidays, and you know, I was really, really excited. And then I did mention that I was a little concerned about the thickness of it, and originally this planner came with these rings. They're about an inch in diameter, and I found that, you know, especially with the hardcover on it, I was having trouble because it was so thick already, and these rings, it was pretty much stuffed to capacity. Well, on a recent trip to Michael's, I did get some expander rings. I think I got these at Staples actually. But the pack only has 9, and because this is the big size planner, you need 11. So I didn't have any more black, so I used some gold because it does match, and I was really excited because then I could fit more in my planner. Now, in years past, I've always printed my own, and I would bind it my own. I have a binding machine available at my school. I would print off my monthly, and then I made, well, this past year, I made it so that it was a week on one page. I took my notes in a separate binder, a separate notebook. So I had one class, sometimes 2 classes, a to-do list, and then my meetings and to-do. And because we're on an even odd schedule for 4 out of the 5 days, there were a lot of blanks. So I was able to sometimes use stickers. Not very often, apparently, but I was able to here and there. And some weeks were more empty than others, and it worked for me. In years past, I did try to do a week on 2-page layout, and even then it worked for me too. So I was really excited to use this one because, I mean, it's so much prettier. You know, you want something that looks pretty. And we started school this past Tuesday for teachers, for teacher meetings and preparation for our classroom. And one of the first things one of my coworkers said was, "Wow, that's big." And I have to admit, it is big, especially with this hardcover. So I'm debating, one, if I should get rid of the hardcover and just stick with the laminated cover. Obviously, I'm using both right now, and maybe that's also why it seems big, but the laminated cover shouldn't add that much bulk. I know one of the commenters in my last video suggested I take out some months, which could work, especially for these weekly pages, but I do need the months because I do plan ahead and I need to see where the meetings are going, and you know, I like to plan very much in advance if possible. So I could take out these weekly sheets. It's just, I think, a hassle to kind of worry about that. I didn't get any extra of the checklist pages. I only have 5 of them, and I think I'm still gonna try and use it what I was gonna use it for marking down students who come in at tutoring sessions. But one thing I did add that I always add, I took it out of here, is I do planning a quarter at a glance so that we can see, okay, what lessons fit on what schedules, because we do need to cover so many topics throughout the year. We try to schedule it. Obviously, you know, you want to cater to your students' learning, but we have to see, like in this quarter, we have an extra day here that if things need to get pushed back, we have that leeway. What lessons can we switch around because it maybe works better on a shorter day? So that's why that was one thing that I learned from my student teaching. My mentor teacher, she always had me plan out a quarter at a time. And I honestly think this is one of the best things I've ever learned for my own classroom. So I highly recommend doing that, because then you can at least see, you know, are you spending too long on a lesson, or do you even have time to hit the project that you want to? So this really comes in handy. And what I do is I always compare it to the year before. So like here I would write notes like Quadratics 5 just seemed really rushed at the end and they were still struggling on the final exam. Or I'll put in when we had videos, what we maybe can take out, where we can put quizzes, and then I can compare it. Hey, last year it took us 2 days to do this one lesson. We're gonna need 2 days to do it this year. And so that really helps to do that comparison. And I keep a couple different years, just because, you know, every year is different. You have different schedules that pop up, and okay, how did we do it this one year when we had election day, you know? So, and granted, maybe I don't need 2013-14 in there, so I could probably take one out. And this year, because I am also teaching trig, I have the same thing for that as well. I have a couple years worth of quarterly plans that I can compare to. Now, when I took it out of my old binder or old planner and put it into this one, it added a significant amount of bulk to this planner. And it's just like, look at that. This is a 1.5 inch disc. And I would say it is almost maxing out. And I'm really disappointed. I feel like this is just a monster to carry around, and I don't know if I want that. One thing I'm thinking about also doing is maybe taking out this folder. I mean, the folder really comes in handy. It kind of holds some of my stickers. I did put in a sheet protector that you can use for photos, but I put some smaller stickers in there. I mean, I could just use this, but again, this is bulky. The Post-it notes, these are really good Post-it notes, and I normally don't use Post-it notes, but these have come in handy a couple times. But leaving it in here also adds bulk. If you look at that. There's just this gap, and that's just from the Post-it notes. So there's that issue. And then I added in a couple things. Now these are all of the extra weekly pages. Now I obviously can take this out, but it's not like it's that significant an amount of pages, you know, like, so when I actually went through and put in all of the dates, for all of the days, for example, like these, once I put all of these in, there were some months that had extra pages, which is really nice about this planner. You do have, you know, if you, let's say you want to put one of the weeks in April, even though half of it is in May, you can choose, should I put it in April or should I put it in May? And so you did have that flexibility with all the extra pages. And I even included the weeks in here where we're actually on break, so I could take those out if I really wanted to. So I mean, I could take this out. Actually, let's do that now. This page I do need. This is all the lines of my teachers, and that's one nice thing is you can put in your own pages and you can take out all the pages you don't need. So there we go. Let's see. But again, like these rings just, they're so huge, and I really did like how small these were, but look how much smaller that is. Like I think if I were to switch back to the smaller rings, I would have to get rid of the hardcover. There's no way I could do it with the hardcover because it's so thick. Now I do have a memory planner that I also use at this size, so I could reuse this cover for that. So it's not like it would go to total waste, but I mean, like, how cute is that? You know, teachers have class and it looks kind of classy. So, you know, if I could, I would really love to keep it. But at this point, I don't know if I can. Now, let me show you what I have done. So I've started inputting, you know, some of my meeting times, and I'm doing that mostly in pen. Like I was like thinking, oh, I want a sticker for this and I want a sticker for that, but realistically, it's not going to happen. So I am making some for maybe, you know, like when I have an assembly or a team meeting. I have some of these already made. There's a couple other regular meetings that, you know, I think I'll make a sheet of stickers just for the heck of it for these pages. But honestly, my monthly, even in my regular weekly planner, which I use an Inkbowl Press planner, even for that, I just do everything with pen and I color code. This is not for decorating. It's not for, you know, making it all pretty if I really wanted to. That's what the weeks are for. I can buy stickers for that. You know, I take my time. But everything that I need to know is here and on my phone, in case anything ever happens to my phone, because I have lost things electronically, and you know, I'm realistic. I just need this as to be written down as a safeguard in case anything happens. Like, let's say I lose my phone, or my account gets hacked or something like that, or I lose a password and I just can't access my information. This really comes in handy. But as you can see, like, I do the same thing with school planning. Everything is color coded. Like, department meetings are green, team meetings are purple, data team meetings will be blue. And so that really helps me to keep organized, and I can see what kind of meetings are coming up. So this part has been the same for me even when I made my own planner. And then what I also include in here is what lessons go on what days. Again, it's just another place that I can see, okay, what did we actually do? When do I have a quiz? And what else did we do? Like, what lessons? And maybe I had to extend it. And when are we reviewing and whatnot? So that's always been my system. It hasn't changed with this planner. So this part I am totally happy with. I'm actually really happy there's tabs, because in my old planner I just had these flags that I would put on the current month, but I couldn't actually find the month that I wanted unless I flipped through it. Now, this is what it looks like for just this 1 week that we've had school. I haven't had students yet. I haven't had class. It's just been teacher prep and meetings. And so I tried to go with what I said I was going to do. So here is my running to-do list. And I could have probably done it a little differently since there was no class this week. These were all the important notes that I needed from each of my meetings. Like, we're doing a new grade book, online grade book. So I needed certain things that I knew I was going to forget that I wanted to make sure I wrote down. We do have handouts that we can always refer to, but that was the most important. Another thing about professional development, like certain dates and the topics, things that we needed for a department meeting, our budget, for our homeroom advisory lesson. And then on this side, this is where in a regular normal week I would use for my classes, like what is the agenda for the day or the schedule. And so I would put, let's say, my trig class in one, and then algebra 2 in the other, and then my meetings. Since there was no class, I just put little things in there like, oh, meeting here and meeting there. This one, it's just, and it was my birthday on the second day of school. So like just things like that. This really didn't work for me that much. So on to the next week, I'm trying it out. I'm going to put in one of my classes here, one of my classes here, and then all my meetings are listed here. I'm thinking I'm going to put washi tape to separate my to-do from my notes. And that's where I'm at right now. I don't know if it's working for me. It just seems like it's so big. I'm thinking if it really were going to help me, maybe I would sit it down like this on my desk so I could see my lesson plan for the week. And then when I'm at meetings and whatnot, I could just open it up and look at this side. But I'm not gonna lie, these rings are huge, especially with this cover, because look how much, that's at least, what is that, ½ inch worth of space just for the cover. I always use just plastic covers before, so I'm thinking, why can't I just use the plastic cover then? Actually, let's take it off now and then see. It takes a little while to take it off, but it's really sturdy. It almost feels like you're gonna break the plastic, but if you look, the plastic is pretty sturdy. All right, so feeling it like this, it feels a lot smaller. It feels a little nicer. The rings are just still really big, but look, I don't know if I could really get away with all the papers that I have. I could get away with it on the ring. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to switch back. It takes a little while, and it would pretty much be packed all the way, I think. And I don't know if I could add very much more pages to this. Again, I could take out the folder. I could maybe just live with the sheet protector. That would work. So I think what I'm going to do is, I mean, I always have the option to print my own. I just have to go in and modify the file. I actually lost this electronic file for this setup. My flash drive died, and I only have my really old two page for 1 week layout. So it's not like it's really hard. I just would have to go in and try and like reformat the boxes and whatnot. So it's not like that's hard to do, but it's not set up right now. We're already starting school. So I think I am going to try to give this 1 month. By the end of August, if it's still driving me nuts with the rings or the thickness, I might have to go back to printing my own, which, you know, honestly is okay. And there's also ones in the store, but why mess with a good thing? One thing I will also have to try and figure out is if this even works for me, because that might be something that I could always take out as well, the checklist, where I was going to put students' names and if they came in during tutoring sessions that are, or study hall sessions that are available. So that's one option. But I am definitely leaving this in here. This is a non-negotiable for me. I do need my quarterly plans in here. So let me know what you think. I love how pretty this planner is. I mean, how can you go wrong with all of these inspirational messages and even the humor in it? You know, I mean, it's pretty, it's decorative, you know, put some happiness into your day. And, you know, there's things that I haven't utilized yet that I might try. But if it's not functional for me, despite how pretty it is, it's not worth the extra effort. And it's just being real. So I don't know. I'm still trying. I'm not going to give up yet. I put in a lot of time and a little bit of money into this. So, you know, it's worth a try. I'm not just going to give up. So I'll check back with you maybe around the end of August or early September. Good. And I start school tomorrow with new student orientation, and then first day for everyone is on Tuesday. So wish me luck, guys. Thanks for sitting through this honest opinion and review of how I'm doing so far with this Happy Planner Teacher Planner. And I'd really like to hear some more ideas in the comments down below. So thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe if you'd like to stick with me on this journey, or hit the like button if you agree with some of these things that I've been talking about, if you struggle too. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.